Let's return to the Foxtel Upfront event. Our co-host James Manning from Mediaweek also spoke to Foxtel's Executive Director Television, Brian Walsh.
Brian Walsh, who would have thought at a Foxtel Upfront the biggest announcement will be a show that just finished 2 seasons on Channel 7?
Yeah, right. It's a fantastic opportunity for us to bring back a show that's very much loved by lots of Australians. And, you know, I've been a big admirer of the quality of drama that the Seven networks produced over many years. They've really been quite prolific when it comes to telling Australian stories. And, you know, we've been discussing with Seven for some time the idea or the concept of them producing product for us. I just think it's a sign of the times. I think our industry is changing very quickly. And, you know, for me, you know, I was involved in the movement of Neighbours over to Channel 10 in the late 80s, and so I saw then what a difference a successful show can bring to a network. And I knew that in A Place to Call Home we had an embedded audience who loved the show, and, you know, I guess as a promotions guy I thought, here's an opportunity to bring a show that's loved, that's got a huge appeal, and will really complement our drama slate, because it really does, you know, fit a niche, I think.
A new era of cooperation. Tim Warner, Brad Lyons, both up in the audience tonight. I don't think they've probably ever been to a Foxtel Upfront. Is there anything about the deal we don't know? Will they get second rights down the track eventually if they want to screen it?
No, the deal's exclusive for Foxtel. I think that would be cheating the audience if it appeared on free-to-air television after Foxtel. So it is an exclusive acquisition for us. It's an exclusive commission. You know, as we announced tonight, we've commissioned 2 series straight up. But I think this is a show, and I've had the great pleasure of sitting down with its creator Bevan Lee and talking about where the show might go beyond season 3 and season 4. And he has some wonderful ideas about that, and he's now passed the baton on to the team at the Seven Productions department, and I think they will continue with his vision of where this show can go. And it's great to get all the cast back. I mean, that for me, that was the thing. You know, it's one thing to bring a show back, but the question was, would all the cast come with it? Would the creative talent come with it? And I must say, Channel 7 have been extraordinary in the way that they've marshalled all the cast together. They've brought the writers in, the workshops are happening now, and the brainstorm sessions are happening now. And, you know, I think it'll be a wonderful moment for Foxtel. Is it a new time of cooperation between the networks? I hope it is. I hope it is, because I think, you know, that free-to-air has its place, subscription has its place, and it's great to be able to work together with Seven and work together with 10, as we're doing with our co-commission of Gogglebox. And
Gogglebox. Now let's get this straight. This is a show about people watching TV.
This is a show about people watching TV. It's a show about us watching people watching TV. And it's been a huge hit in the UK, and I think it's something different for us. It's very fresh. I think it's good when you're, you know, television's a risky business, and to take a risk on a concept like this and do it with a partner like the 10 network.
So who gets it first, you or 10? Or
Foxtel gets it first, and we'll play it on the Lifestyle channel. We haven't disclosed our strategy on scheduling, but it'll play first on Lifestyle and then it'll play on 10.
Yeah. Some other interesting commissions. Tell us a little bit about the comedy project.
Well, I've wanted to work with Rick McKenna for some years, and after the success of Kath and Kim, it was a real priority for me to pursue Rick and bring Rick back to subscription to Foxtel and subscription television with a comedy idea. And I observed over the last 2 years, with the exception of the ABC, there hasn't really been a lot of comedy on Australian television, a lot of successful comedy on Australian television. And so I thought it was a great opportunity to bring back the genre in a meaningful way. And when I sat down with Rick and then Laura Waters, who's, you know, the genius behind Chris Lilly, I just knew that the two of them collaborating together, bringing back what I would call the alumni of Australian comedy, the biggest names, biggest household names, and putting them together with the new wave of comedic talent in a weekly show in front of a live studio audience, all the parodies, all the send-ups. There's got to be a market for a show like that, and I think Foxtel's the perfect place for a show like this. You know, we've commissioned 20 episodes. It'll have a dedicated time slot, and I think it'll signal to comedic talent throughout the country that there's now a new destination for them to show their work.
We've heard from Richard Freudenstein today about the advertising that kicks in this week for the new the aggressive price points. Does it interest, or it's used to wear a marketing hat, of course, as well as your current duties? Has it feel a bit different when you might be getting a surge of new customers? Is that a good feeling when you're commissioning shows?
Absolutely. I mean, talent want to be seen. That's what drives them. And I think the prospect of getting a surge of new customers is very exciting for me as a programmer, and it's great for talent. I mean, when you're pitching to talent about doing a show on Foxtel, they want a substantial audience. And so I think this opportunity is going to be great for us. And I think, the shareholders and the board have told me that the more successful Foxtel becomes, the more we'll keep investing in local content, and that's good news for everybody.
All right, let's get some more on the rest of the media news this week. James Manning from Mediaweek is here, and there's plenty to talk about. Just firstly on the print side of things, the News Awards, the News Corp News Awards held, and some big winners there.
Another win for the Courier Mail, already Pampers Newspaper of the Year, now the in-house Newspaper of the Year at News Corp, and Nigel Hunt, the journo from The Advertiser, Sir Keith Murdoch Journalist Award of the Year too.
All right. Just turning to Fairfax as well, and it's launched a new campaign promoting its journalism.
Yeah, we saw some of the News Limited dailies, particularly in New South Wales, the Daily Telegraph, had their journos travelling on a train, I think, of the journos meeting some of the public. The Age have done a little bit of a similar thing, and the Sydney Morning Herald, of course. I think Peter Fitzsimons and Caroline Wilson among the talent they've used.
Just on to the radio news, because there is a lot again this week about this.
Friday.
Southern Cross Stereo, another program announcement.
Yeah, look, Merrick Watts is being moved again. He started at Triple M with Southern Cross Stereo after he came across from Nova, went to two-day breakfast after a couple of years at Triple M. He's going back to Triple M again in 2015. As yet, with a co-host, they haven't identified. Bit of contractual work, but we should know who that is shortly.
To Macquarie Radio boss John Singleton, and he's said again he's ready to
He's interested in doing a deal with Fairfax. He's very keen to get this across the line. He said, look, I could be a buyer or a seller if the price is right. One of the sticking points, I think, he wants, if he's a buyer, he wants Fairfax to sort of vendor finance part of it.
OK. And just on 2GB, now going to a 6-day work week?
Yeah, look, this is sending shudders through broadcasters right around Australia that Ray Hadley is going to be working 6 days a week in his morning show, Monday through to Saturday. I think there's some sort of sponsorship deal involved. The first show's this weekend, so we'll see how that goes.
And just on to ARN, now close to signing Hughesy and Kate.
Yeah, look, we think Hughesy and Kate are probably going to take over a drive show there, probably network Sydney and Melbourne. Also, I think we can safely assume, looks like Kiss FM will be launched in Melbourne next year, possibly with a new breakfast team too.
So this will put them up against...
Yeah, in drive it's going to be game on. Hughesy and Kate, Hamish and Andy, and Merrick Watts. We thought it might have been with Rosso, it doesn't seem so. So the radio veterans will be a big game on in drive.
Big battle in drive. Absolutely. Let's have a look at the TV ratings, and this for week 44. Top 10 free-to-air first, and... Yeah,
some of the usual suspects there as we get through close to the end of the year, only 4 weeks to go. Big Bang Theory, 960 Minutes, nearly end of the year, and number one for the year in current affairs, 60 Minutes.
Dancing with the Stars there at number 10.
Yep.
Just turning to the top 10 subscription TV for week 44, Grand Designs Australia there.
Yep, and The Walking Dead's another show just doing great business here in Australia for FX, as it is all around the world.
And the cricket, ever popular as well. Just to the rest of the news too, 60 Minutes finished its ratings year and made some claims about being number one news and current affairs. Yeah,
in terms of weekly shows, it's, well, any current affairs show really. They've had that really good year. They've beat Sunday Nights, their sort of arch competitor, across at 7. Second year in a row they've taken that. Tom Malone and the team, very good teams got working under them. Had a good year.
James, as always, thank you so much for that.
Thanks, Bridie.
James Manning there from Media Week. That's all we have time for from the team here. Thanks for your company.